You know, when new advisors approach me or reps or companies, sales directors, one of the first things that's noticed for the most part is that prospecting is a major headache. It's the scary challenge sometimes. And you know what lies at the head of that uneasiness, I think, with prospecting? So there's a little bit of fear. And I think it's just basic human fear of rejection, and among other things. But the fear that most of us have about hearing people say no is is something we really experience. We take it a little bit personally, don't we? And why wouldn't we? But but importantly, we fear uncertainty, I think, of not being able to feel confident about what works. So, yeah, I'll make 100 calls if I know it works. And we also know what doesn't work. And that's another part of the fear, or maybe we could call it hesitation, that we have sometimes built up for ourselves about this thing we call prospecting for new business. So, what's the right way to do it? We want our effort to pay off, and then we'll do it, right? So we need it to work. So it's not just about the fear of being rejected. Often we hear from sales professionals is that they use prospecting ideas that have been passed down from, say, 20 years ago or more. So sales leaders have been taught what worked for them by people who, came along, but that's just not clicking anymore. The game's changed. It's changed a lot. So there are six prospecting mistakes that we see made that we can help replace with newer, more proven strategies. Let's talk about that. We'll do them one at a time. So, but first, let me tell you about rule number one for reps. If the competition is doing it, let's stop doing it right away. Differentiate yourself. Like, hey, Steve, how are you today? How are you today? Well, that's what everybody is saying. And that's like, salesperson. There are thousands of reps within a few miles of you, and they're doing the same thing. Standing out from the competition is a do or die proposition for us now. So I'd say your prospective clients get a deluge of text, phone calls, emails, LinkedIn connection requests, wouldn't you? And the minute the prospect feels like it's a sales message, they tend to delete us. It doesn't have to be that way. And sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between a recorded call. Have you ever started talking to a recorded call? I did just the other day. It was so good. So is it a bot or is it a live person? So our biggest challenge when reaching out to brand new people that don't know us or haven't dealt with us is simply being seen, being heard, and standing out from the crowd and maybe getting a little attention. So for today, here's the first mistake. It's called lack of personalization. This is the big one, by the way, guys. Think of all the messages you get that try to sound personalized but really aren't. Like, it looks like we have some mutual connections, and I'd love to learn more about your business. Or this may have worked 10 years ago, but not anymore. It's not enough to get the attention of a prospect. And here's one I get: Steve, I noticed your skills as a coach. Or Steve, it seems like you're doing some great work there. We don't want to make the mistake that imagining that that's personalized. It isn't. Computers crank those out millions and millions of times a day, and buyers today see through that. So let's not kid ourselves. So if it looks like a sales message and smells like a sales message, so the simple fix is we work really hard on the front end before we reach out to someone. So rather than have 1,000 prospects, I might have 10 or 20 or whatever's manageable, and then create a hyper personalized message. This sounds like a lot of work. Well, it's not as bad as it might seem. Before we reach out, we want to find some things that we can talk about that'll help us make this case, our case. So of all the people in the world, there's only one person on the planet who could have received this particular message, my prospect. So we can send out canned messages and send out hundreds of them, but do we get calls back? Nah. Or callbacks, is that the way to say it? If we don't make our case, we don't even make it on the radar screen. So this is a shift, I know, but I realize it takes a little different effort. So let me give you an example from real life. This is a notice or a connect request by a rep who's in the healthcare field. Hi, Carl. I noticed you at the Get Healthy Symposium and appreciated your talk on the Blue Zones Challenge. I'm a new advisor with ABC Company, and we work with health and fitness professionals like you. I'd love to connect here sometime. And then the follow-up after she got the connection was, hello again. Thanks for connecting. I saw you as you recall at the Get Healthy Symposium. Always impressive to see healthcare professionals show up and stay engaged outside of work hours. And it went on. So there was another reply from all of that from the prospect, and it went, great outbound message. Definitely the best I've seen. So it did get some attention. Now, I know you don't always go to a convention and you don't always have all of those luxuries just piling in for you, but they've started a conversation. There was no sales pitch, not yet. Suddenly there's a little bit of a relationship, and that's what we want. Now, different maybe for if we're just looking for one transaction or two or three, but if we're trying to build a relationship, we're working on a project and we want repeat orders, and perhaps we even want some, that dirty word, referrals, then the idea of a relationship is powerful, right? So, sometimes I'll hear, oh, that's too cutesy, or that wouldn't work in our industry, or people wouldn't respond to that kind of thing for me. But what you say is up to you. It's the concept we're teaching here. You still have to make your case. So if you don't make it crystal clear that you're trying to reach this person and you're there to offer help or assistance or ideas, see, that's the world we live in. So I want you to try this approach. You don't have to go to a trade show, and of course, but we can use things like LinkedIn or Google or chat, to name only a few ideas out there where we can get some background on our prospect. So we can personalize our message. You can say anything you want. You don't have to use Steve's words. But if what you say proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that you've done your homework, that you're reaching out to them and you're not a bot, or you're not spamming people, it's not some sort of repeated message that everyone gets. So we've got to find something that shows them clearly and quickly that we've done our research. So that's the first mistake we make. So think about how you can personalize messages to those most important prospects. And see you next time.